Hi, and welcome to the reading for Thursday. Today's pick a card reading is going to be about what are they thinking? Okay, so we can look at this in two ways. We can either look at it as a general, what are they thinking about? Just what's on their mind, what are they preoccupied with, and all of that kind of stuff. And then we can also look at it as what are they thinking about me, okay? The reason that I'm doing it that way is that we've got four decks. All decks have, well, piles really. We have four piles of cards. All piles of cards have a lot of cards in them. And I'm going to go ahead and interpret them both ways. That way, it can apply to both a romantic situation or a non-romantic situation, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and tell you which decks are which. This blue feather is deck number 1. The purple feather is deck number 2. This is supposed to be yellow, but it might look brown or orange to you. This yellow feather is deck number 3. And this green feather is deck number 4. All right, so while you guys are thinking about which deck to pick, I just wanted to go ahead and say anything that you need to know about me, the channel, how to contact me, my private readings is going to be in the description below. I will also include timestamps in there, and once the video is uploaded completely, then I try to get the timestamps up as quickly as possible in a comment, but if you need to find them, they're going to be in there, okay? Just want to remind you guys that for the rest of December, my prices are going to be the same, but starting in January, my prices are going to shift up just a little bit. Again, if you want a discount on a reading for 2019 to kind of help with that transition, I'll go ahead and give you a message about that at the end of the video, okay? Because I've already talked long enough, and let's go ahead and get started on pile number 1, okay? Those of you who picked the blue feather. All right, so my group ones who picked the blue feather. I forgot to say it in the intro, but this, please don't worry about it. A cat scratched me. We were playing. It was all in good fun. And I just put this over here because I just didn't want anything to irritate it. And it really isn't this big, I promise. It was just the one bandage that I had. Okay, so we're talking about a person that's on your mind. Okay. All right, so right now they're trying to turn like what they know, like they have some kind of special information. There's like new knowledge that they've gotten. And this could describe somebody who maybe just got out of school, or this could describe somebody who has just maybe finished a book, or it could be somebody who has just you know, taken a class or learned a new skill or something like that, or they're interested in something. Anyway, that new knowledge, they're trying to turn that into wisdom, okay? They want to be wise about this. They don't want to just, now that they know this programming language, be able to program any old program. They want to be able to program something that will be helpful to the world. You know, they want to do something that's a little bit more proactive with that knowledge. The knowledge could also be information about a relationship, like something was hidden from them and now it's out in the light, and they're trying to figure out like what's going on there, or they've gotten just new information about a relationship, and they're trying to be more wise because of that. And then another thing is that this could just be something that they've always known, that something along the way has triggered them to be like, you know what? I know that, but I don't really know it. I don't really know it on a deeper level, and they're just kind of re-examining something. Okay, so so that, you know, that's what's going on with them. They are really future forward right now. They're really planning ahead. They want to make sure that they have all their ducks in a row, that kind of thing. So this person is definitely very interested in that. If you are asking about a love interest, this person wants to have some kind of future with you, okay? Or at least they see one, and they want to make that happen. All right. something else about them, and this kind of goes with the knowledge card, is that they are pursuing some kind of wealth right now. So either they're trying to get a new job or they're trying to save. So that's just an issue that's going on with them. I don't get that they're having financial issues. But I think maybe like 2 or 3 of you might be thinking about somebody who has financial issues and like needs more money for whatever reason. But otherwise, most of these people, they're trying to either acquire wealth, they're wealthy, or they're focusing on what they can do, like this knowledge to gain in finances. Okay. I want to read some of these in a certain order. Okay, I'm gonna do the next one from this deck. We've got the Goblin. Okay, this is just a mythical creature, right? What the Goblin stands for is like a wounded ego. There's something that's happened to this person recently that has kind of like really hurt them. It feels like they've maybe been personally attacked even. Or they might have experienced a huge I don't know, like a failure or a disappointment in their own ability to perform. And they're kind of being stubborn and even a little childish about it, but it is it's more like, I feel like more that they've been triggered by something and they just really don't like it, rather than them being like, I don't know, them embracing the kind of energy of just being a jerk, I just feel like they didn't like what they heard and it hurt their feelings, and so now they're just acting a little bit weird. That's it, But yeah, what to do about that if you happen to be dealing with this kind of person is if you're the source of this, they definitely need to know that they need some clarity on what was said. If you think that there's anything that you could have said recently that might have hurt their ego or hurt their sense of self or their self-esteem, you might want to go back and kind of re-examine that with them and let them know what you meant, okay? We're going to go ahead and look at tarot now. Okay, so we've got some cup energy, and then we also have, let's look at the cups first. We have the 8 of Cups. Now, traditionally, this means moving away from something that is emotionally upsetting, okay? So a lot of readers like to interpret it as somebody moving away from a relationship. I actually don't feel like this is what this card means in this particular spread. We're talking about what they're thinking about. What they're thinking about is some kind of like maybe toxic emotional situation, or maybe they feel overwhelmed by their emotions. They want to kind of compartmentalize. They want to take a break from whatever's causing them some emotional ups and downs, that kind of thing. They might actually just be stressed out too, but it's like they just don't want to deal with it right now. That doesn't mean they'll never deal with it. But just right now, they don't really want to deal with it. And then we've got the 4 of Cups. This is a really interesting card in this particular tarot. The way it's depicted is very, very different from the traditional one. And I just want to go ahead and go over the traditional energy because I'm being led to say that that's going to apply for some of you. For some of you, they're just kind of thinking about like this one thing in their life that's causing emotional problems, and they're like, gosh, if it could only be like this. And it could be anything. It could be like, if it would only, if only we didn't argue, or if only they knew how I felt, or if only, I'm giving examples, that's the kind of thing that the traditional one does, and it's just really focusing on one emotion and kind of leaving out some others. In this particular deck, though, it's talking about escapism. This person might have, I really don't feel it, though, that they might have an issue with addiction, okay? I don't feel that very strongly, but I still feel like I need to say that. They might have an issue with addiction, or they might have an issue to turning to alcohol or drugs or something like that when they feel really hurt, okay? but this is more about escapist type things. Okay, so like binge watching TV shows, or playing video games, going to the gym a whole lot. Anything where you don't really have to put your mind on what's going on. At least emotionally, this is where they are. Okay, I mean we've talked about where they are mentally, and mentally they're good. They're very clear, and they're not confused at all. But emotionally, they're trying to work through something. Okay, and in working through it, they kind of feel this duality of wanting to kind of like not face it, but also knowing that they have to, and kind of like trying to prepare themselves for facing it. And this doesn't necessarily have to be something painful. It could be, it doesn't mean that this is something that's a negative emotion. This could be, some people can get pretty messed up when they fall in love, for example. Some people it really makes them feel uncomfortable. They're used to having control over their thoughts and their whole, suddenly they're not sleeping and they're thinking about this person all the time, and all of that kind of stuff. And it's like, whoa. So, really, this person could be dealing with emotions over somebody that they really, really care about. Maybe they're coming to the realization that they really need to be with this person. They're trying to kind of be like, well, you can still be independent, right? And it's like, no, you really can't, that kind of thing. So this could be anything, okay? Anything emotional that's just making them feel uncomfortable, okay? The Seven of Pentacles references the Goblin card with the hurt ego. I really feel like this person feels like they've failed at something. Like they think that they should have been good at something. They should have had it together. They feel like they should have been able to take care of it, right? And maybe they didn't ask for help, or maybe they took on too much, or maybe they had maybe their expectations were too high, and again, we have turning knowledge into wisdom. They want to make a better decision next time. For some of them, this is going to have to do with literal work, okay, and just wanting to do better at work. And for others, this is very symbolic. This is about how effective they can be in the world. They want to be effective, and they're definitely on the path where they're going to get there. They just they're just it's like right now they're just kind of thinking about it, and that, so that's where they are in their thoughts about themselves. So it's like, it really feels like, we've got a few cards here that's letting me know that this person, like, what the thing that's predominating their mind as far as these cards, is how effective they are at turning what they know into meaningful action, turning the theoretical into actual, that kind of thing. So kind of keep that in mind, that if this person's messed up for whatever reason in your life, and maybe you're thinking, I don't know if I should give them a second chance or whatever, they have a sincere desire to get better. They don't like the way that they feel. They want to make it better, okay? So just throwing that out here. Okay, so these are interesting because we have both attachment and caring connections. Okay, so this person's recognizing that they're really attached to someone, okay, and this person keeps coming up in their mind a lot. Obviously, for those of you who are inquiring about somebody who they care about, this is going to be about you. They're going to be thinking about you a lot. They really care about you. They want to connect with you. They feel very attached to you. Sometimes being attached to something can be uncomfortable, though. I do want to mention that, and that might be the emotional discomfort that they're experiencing. But something that they're attached to, they know that it's a weakness. They know that people can use that against them. They also know that if they're attached to you, then maybe they won't be as independent. And I don't mean independent like free. I mean independent like it'll cloud their judgment, that kind of thing. Or they'll get to a point where they don't know where they end and you begin, and that kind of thing. So that attachment might be scary for them, but they do care about you very much. Sometimes you just might feel like, gosh, that person really doesn't care. Like, they totally don't care about me. No, they do. They definitely care about you. So just keep in mind that they definitely care. There's nothing wrong on that level. They just you know, they're just, I mean, really, they're going through a lot, and they are attached to you. They're not going anywhere with you, you know. Okay, and last in Lenormand, we've got this is actually a good this is a good way of placement for the cards. When we get the clouds, that usually indicates either like uncertainty, or it can also indicate like emotional turmoil, like depression, okay, and that kind of stuff. Usually the card that's placed on this side of the clouds, I'm just going to pretend like this is the way it came out. It didn't, but if it was placed like this, then this card would be what they're confused about. But on the happy side, on the sun's coming out, the storm's almost over, we've got a message. So what I think is going to happen, as far as anything predictive, is that this person, once they get this stuff settled, okay, once they get this out, you know, and they are you know, they've gotten to the point where they've like really figured things out, and they know what they're gonna do, and all of that, they're gonna like immediately tell somebody. And if this is somebody that you're interested in, they're gonna tell you, but they're gonna communicate that, okay? And the communication, while it could be electronic, I feel like it's more personal. Like maybe they might, like if it's electronic, maybe they might send you a video, or maybe they might send you an audio recording or something like that. Otherwise, they might actually call you on the phone instead of sending you a text message, or they might, you know, they might text and say that they want to meet in person so that they can talk, okay? So that's the kind of thing. It's like, you know, but I mean, really, this depicts swift communication, okay? In the Lenormand, there's also the letter, okay? And that's slower communication, and usually is through text. It's through type, text, handwriting, and that kind of stuff. This quick action is like, oh, it's gonna be a quick message, and it's a positive message, and all of that kind of stuff. You know, it might contain some of their processing of like, you know, this stuff's been going on, and I've been thinking about it, and then, you know, whatever. But it's gonna be positive. It's gonna be something that you've been wanting, or you know, so yeah, so that's what's on their mind right now. Seems like they've got a lot to think about too. Alrighty guys, those of you who picked pile number 2, let's look at what's on their mind. Okay, this person is not really wanting to be around a whole lot of people, okay, right now. They're just going through a time where they're kind of, they want to be like real independent. So if you're asking about a friend or somebody who you care about a lot, know that if they're not spending as much time with you, it's just because they have some things to get taken care of on their own. Another way of looking at this is that, you know, because the key word is really independence, right? Is that this person really wants to take care of themselves. They're the kind of person that could work alone real easily and get stuff done. They could, I mean, of course they could work on a team too, but it seems like they would be more efficient if they worked alone. This person is trying to go after something that they've been really interested in for a while. They really want to go after something, and this could be anything from like a job to a relationship, but it's like they're feeling really ambitious too. We've got planting seeds as well. So they're also definitely thinking ahead, but they're being kind of cautious about it. They want to make sure, like they're not thinking way ahead and getting ahead of themselves the way that some people can. And then some people can like think so far ahead that it's like, oh my gosh, it's like ridiculous, you know, like they plan their funeral when they're in their 20s, right? So what we're talking about with planting seeds is that they've got a lot of creative ideas. They've got a lot of ideas on how they can be effective and positive in the world and that kind of thing. And they're just basically trying to get, just anything to stick, you know. They really want to be successful, and they're trying out a lot of new ideas and that kind of thing. So if you're inquiring about somebody who you are in a relationship with or want to be in a relationship with, this person is open to being in a relationship, and they are, if this person is talking to you and you're interacting, and this is actually your partner, they're probably going to be trying some new things in the relationship to try to solve problems, which is really good. So we've got love and the water fairy. So the water fairy is about feelings and emotions, okay? So it's kind of like we've got love and love, okay? This person is experiencing a lot of positive emotions right now, okay? And so, of course, even though it's emotional, this is something that they've been contemplating. They've been thinking about while while that can mean that they're in love with someone, or that maybe they're planning on taking a relationship to the next level. Well, it can imply that. It can also imply just a general love of life right now, So keep that in mind too, This would be somebody who'd be very pleasant to be around if you're not asking about a partner, or a romantic interest. This person would be very pleasant to be around because they're in a really good mood. And the feelings and emotions, it doesn't feel like it's like I don't feel like it's dramatic. It's not drama. It's just they feel and they feel. Excuse me. Wow, I have allergies this time of year. It's the mold. Okay, for those of you who are like, how can you have allergies in the middle of winter? Yeah, it's the mold. It's raining outside right now, and all the leaves are getting kicked up and all that. Anyway, so this person, it would just be, yeah, they're in their feelings, but they're in love feelings, they're in happy feelings, they're feeling good, they're feeling creative, they're flourishing, they're not languishing, that kind of stuff. So here's where it gets kind of interesting. Let's deal with this one first. We're looking at the Los Scarabeo Tarot. We've got the Three of Coins first off. So if you're wondering about somebody who's at work, they're a very hard worker. They're very dedicated to this. If you're talking about somebody who's a relationship, like in a relationship with you, any kind, they're very dedicated to that relationship. They're willing to work for that relationship, and that's kind of confirmed with the seeds coming out, like planting seeds. Like they're willing to try a lot of different things until they just hit something that works. Okay, but these two things are kind of reinforcing each other. We've got them really fantasizing a lot right now. The fantasy could just be like, how can I improve my life? This could be the reason that they're planting these seeds. Okay, so I don't want to make them sound like they're all in their head and they're unrealistic. However, for some of you, this is just confirmation that that this person, maybe somebody who you are interested in romantically, is very sexually interested in you, and also sees, or at least hopes for a future with you. And then we've got the Devil, and the Devil doesn't necessarily always mean anything evil or anything like that. In fact, it rarely does. One thing about the Devil card that I think is really interesting is that it's like a person feels like chained by something. They feel bound to something. But in reality, they're not really. So this might be somebody who's taking on a responsibility that isn't really theirs to take on, but they just feel like that they have to do this because it's what's right, that kind of thing. This can also refer to temptation. Maybe they're being tempted by something, and, it can also have to do with some more negative themes. Like they might be having nightmares lately. They might be having like a lot of fears when it comes to that kind of stuff, and they might be thinking about like if this person's in a relationship with you, they might feel like they're being a little suffocated, but at the same time they don't want to leave it. It's just that they feel a little suffocated right now, because I'm definitely not getting any movement away from anything. Okay, so We've got action and strategy again, with the planting seeds and with this work and dedication. This is somebody who wants to do something, like, and we also had this with the independent card, the cat's energy here. Yeah, we have this person wants to take action. They want to do something. They want to do something about something. I don't feel like it's a particularly passionate thing. It's not like they're going on a grail quest or anything. It's just that they know that something needs to be done. It needs to be done soon, and that's it. That's just the way it is. It needs to be done. I would say for some of you guys, you're going to actually see this person taking action within a week, okay? Because like it feels very fast and immediate. But not all of you. We also have strategy. So there has been some planning, okay? There is looking to the future. There is, how can I provide for the future kind of thing too involved. So the action's probably something that involves securing a future. So, keep that in mind. It could be securing a future with a job. It could be securing a future like working with a retirement, something like that. It could be finishing a will. It could be making the decision to get life insurance. It could be buying a house. It could be getting married. It's just something that will make their future more secure. Okay, and that's why they have to strategize. Okay. And then this is a really fortuitous one too. These are two generally negative cards, but when you put them together, it means something completely different. So this one's talking about tedium. Okay, it's talking about doing things over and over again, the same old things. We're talking about chores. We're talking about like repetitive motion and that kind of thing. And then when you get the mice take away from something. Okay, so the mice can represent stealing. They can represent depletion. They can represent emptiness. So what's interesting about these two cards coming up together is that the mice are taking away from that tedium. So they're feeling, again with the creativity, they're feeling more creative. They're feeling like they have more variety in their life right now, and that's putting them in a really good mood. And again, okay, we've got love. This person would be somebody who would be very pleasant to be around emotionally, okay? So, this is what's on your person's mind. Hopefully I've been helpful with that. Okay, pile number 3. Those of you who picked the yellow-brown feather, want to go ahead and say I was playing with my cat, and she scratched me. We were having fun. We were playing a game. It was not done in anger, but that's why I have this on my hand. I just didn't like the way it looked, and I didn't. This was the first bandage I came across. Okay, so I'm fine. So what is on your person's mind? Okay, the person you're talking about right now really neatly, they feel like they need to get to work on something, okay? And not only do they want to get to work on something, they also want feedback about it, okay? So when we're talking about feedback, I mean, they either want to work with somebody to get something done, or they would like somebody else's input on, well, what do you think about this? If I could do this 3 different ways, and depending on which way I do, which one do you think is the best, and which one do you think is the worst? What are the pros and cons of each one? That kind of thing. I apologize. My son came in and then left really quickly because he knows that I was making a video. But anyway, yeah, they're trying to do. Either they're looking for feedback, or they're maybe doing marketing research, like what do people like, what do they not like, that kind of thing. Or they want to work with somebody on something. If this is somebody who is a romantic interest, they want to get together with you, okay? They want to spend some time with you, okay? They excuse me, they also might they want to build something with you too, they really, and they want to talk about how they can do that. And part of that is that they want a fresh start with you. If you are inquiring about a romantic relationship, okay, they want a fresh start. They want to be a more equal partner in the relationship, and they want to make sure that I mean, really, we've got collaboration, then we've got this starting fresh. It just feels so much like they want to be an equal partner, okay? This could also talk about maybe switching jobs. It could also mean that there's something new coming up for them. Or it might be that they have been forgiven and they're going to be given another chance. Another card that's right there is birth and rebirth, okay? This person has become born to something new, okay? They're starting fresh. There's something new in their life that they want to do. If you're talking about a romantic partner, this might be a relationship or a new attitude they want to bring to the relationship. If this is somebody that's like you have a crush on, this would be the time to initiate something with them. If you are comfortable with that, this would be the time to say, hey, do you want to, whatever's appropriate for your age range, okay? Do you want to go get some coffee, or do you want to hang out? Just whatever, do you want to meet up somewhere, whatever. Right now would be a good time because they're starting out fresh. However, they do have something that's kind of weighing their heart down a little bit. And it could be this kind of project that they're trying to collab with, they're being weighed down. I really feel like it could be a past thing, like something that they did in the past could be really bothering them, and that's what's sparking this change. Or this could just be like a financial burden. It could be I'm feeling like it's either a financial burden or something from the past. It's like kind of either or. I don't really feel like it could be anything else. I'm not getting a whole lot of indication it could be anything else. But a burden can be, obviously it can be emotional. It can be a physical burden, that kind of thing. So that certainly could be what it means. But intuitively what I'm getting is that this is something from the past that they feel bad about. Or it's like a financial burden that they're facing. Okay, so in, oh goodness. Why does this card have nudity on it? This is crazy. I've never seen this card have nudity on it, except for in this deck. And of course, I remember it now that I see it, but, okay. This person doesn't want to be judged quickly. They want to have a chance to explain themselves. They want to have a chance to, really, this is actually the rebirth card in one of the decks that I have. So I think that's kind of interesting. But yeah, they don't want to be judged about something. They don't want people to jump to conclusions. They want to explain themselves. They want to, they'd like to ask for forgiveness if they've maybe done wrong. They're also the kind of person that's not going to judge other people. They're willing to hear all sides. This would be the kind of person that would be a fair judge, okay? And in the court system, they would be a fair judge. They would use a lot of critical thinking and that kind of thing, okay? We also have the Eight of Wands. This means that they really want to move towards something quickly, and I really feel like it's this fresh start, the rebirth thing, this starting something new. Or it could be that it's like, hey, let's get this done. We need to do something, that kind of thing. For some reason, the Six of Cups has nudity on it. It depicts Eve. Which, that kind of makes sense. The Six of Cups traditionally talks about the past. It talks about childhood. It talks about a time when you were happier, generally, okay? Generally, not everybody had the happiest childhood. What it's trying to depict, though, is that they're feeling like things can be new again, okay? So we've got the same stuff over and over and over again. And some people, some of my commenters have mentioned my modesty. I know it's kind of silly, but at the same time, I don't think that you need to necessarily see breasts on there. So this definitely clarifies things. So, that burden I was talking about, some of you guys might be dealing with somebody who has financial constraints, okay? So yeah, this could be something like they have problems with, maybe they're just feeling like they're getting stretched a lot right now, or maybe they're just really have a big deal going on, like maybe they've just lost their job or something like that. But finances is like, if you want to know what this person is thinking about, what they're thinking about is starting something new and this burden that they have, something that's bothering them. And then we have the other possibility, which is maybe hostilities from the past, okay? I don't feel like this person is a hostile person in general. We're talking about what they're thinking, okay? So some of the things that they're thinking about is they're afraid that they've done something wrong. And we've got the Judgment card, not wanting to be seen as one way too quickly. They want to have a time to explain themselves. Maybe they feel like they came off as too aggressive in a situation, or maybe they had a disagreement with somebody and they want to change. They want to change that, but the bottom line energy is this, like, going back to the past, rebirth, starting something new, that kind of thing. Again, with Judgment, that has to do with rebirth as well. So the Lenormand, this is interesting. We've got finances here. So I really feel like they've got someone on their heart too that they've been thinking about. This could be the person that they had some hostilities with. Those of you who are inquiring about somebody who you would like to be in a romantic relationship with, or somebody who you are in a romantic relationship with, this person really cares. Okay, this person really does care. They'd like to they'd like to be with you. They'd like to, I really feel like this starting fresh and collaboration could definitely be talking about a romantic relationship. We also have the Fish, which has to do things that come in groups. Okay, so they might be dealing with something that it's like maybe just like 3 or 4 stressors all at once. You know how that can happen sometimes, right? Or they might be dealing with again, this is the Fish also represent finances, so this could be something that has to do with finances as well. Okay, this could be literally translated to "I love money," right? But I really feel like they're not, like, usually Lenormand's meant to be read together, but I feel like this is more 2 separate issues, so I want to kind of phrase it that way. But that doesn't mean that for a few of you it might mean that they just love money and they don't have enough of it and they want more. It could be something more like that basic. So that's what's on your person's mind. All right, group 4, those of you who picked the green feather. Let's look at what's on your person's mind. Okay, this person's really interested in setting some boundaries. So they feel like some things have been intruded upon. They feel like, they feel like they want to make sure that people understand where they want to say where other people stand with them. They want to make sure that if they're at work, they're not, that they're doing their job and they have their job taken care of before they try to help anybody else, for example. This might be a person who has dealt with somebody who is really draining and taking away their emotional energy a lot, and they need to set a boundary to be like, okay, I can't do this anymore, that kind of thing. Or it could be like a moral boundary, that's like, something's happening that they don't find particularly moral, and they want to and they want to express that. Okay, so this is the kind of thing, they just want to set, and they're not doing it to be mean. They just want to be healthy. Okay, so if this is a love interest, okay, or somebody who has love energy around them, with you, the setting boundaries is they want to do this for the better good of your relationship. I don't actually get that this person doesn't like you. I actually get that they just want to set boundaries, and that's it. But we can look at these cards to see what else is going on. Okay, I just saw another card in this deck that had nudity in it that I was like, I don't remember that. And now I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't remember this card having nudity in it. It's just crazy. I'm more aware of that when I'm on my channel because I don't want to put pornographic images on my channel. But anyway, so we've got the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords is a really interesting character. I know, it's laughable, but it's what I do. Yeah, the Page of Swords is the kind of person that is like, yeah, they're thinking oriented, and yeah, they like to communicate, definitely. At least they like to communicate with the people that they like, right? Very thinking oriented, that kind of thing. But they're feeling a little like, again, I just feel like they're feeling drained right now. They're feeling like things haven't been as easy for them. And as a result of things not as being as easy for them, they haven't been able to think things through as well. So they might kind of come off as being a little less together than usual. I really feel like this actually might have something to do with the setting boundaries thing. This could be related. It could be unrelated completely. I mean, I'll go ahead and share something from my life. I know that, recently I didn't take one of my medications. I didn't realize I hadn't taken it, but I didn't take one of my medications, and it really messed with my head. So this could be me, for example, at that point, where normally I'm very clear thinking, and my thoughts are very fluid and all of that kind of stuff, but, but when I didn't take the pill, then I was like, ugh, it's just really crazy. But another thing this could mean is that somebody's trying to communicate with you, and they really don't have a lot of experience with this, and it's like they don't know what to say, and they're trying so hard to say it, and they just don't know how to say it, and all of that kind of stuff. So, also kind of keep that in mind. They also might be a very blunt person, but we're not talking about what they're doing and all of that kind of stuff. We're talking about what are they thinking right now. So we've got to keep the question in mind. And keeping the question in mind, I think that what they're thinking right now is that they've got to set some boundaries and make sure they're enforced. And then also they're not thinking as clearly as usual. I feel like this person might usually be a very, very thoughtful, very introspective and clear, communicator, and maybe right now they're not being as clear, that feels more the same. We've got the same kind of situation with the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands in this particular deck shows somebody, like, look, I don't want to fight anymore. I'm putting this burden down. I'm not going to deal with this anymore. And setting boundaries is usually done because it's like, you know what, I really don't want to deal with this. I don't want this to come up again. I'm just going to say it how it is. This is what I need for this relationship. And if I can't get that, then this relationship, can't really go on. I really feel like this particular deck, this particular pile was, most of you guys who picked this are asking about a relationship because I'm not getting a whole lot of general stuff, okay? This person could be just kind of burning away the past right now. Maybe they're cleaning out and stuff like that, but I really feel like this is more about, look, this can't happen anymore, I'm done, that kind of thing, not with the relationship so much. It's just, I'm done with this particular behavior, that kind of thing. I really feel like this person's just very fretting a lot about somebody who's been, bothering them that way. And I mean, really, it could be you. But again, the good thing is that they're trying to communicate it, and as long as they're trying to communicate it, they see a way forward with it. Okay, so that's what you should keep in mind. And then we do have some new stuff going on. Okay, by doing this, they're going to a place where they've got new stability that they haven't had before. And when you've got somebody that's feeling very stable, you have somebody who's also much more effective in their life, just in all areas of their life. They're much more effective. They move through the physical world a lot easier. They're not. I mean, it's weird because when there's a boundary that needs to be set, sometimes people can kind of live in fear that that's always going to be crossed, and not realize that, okay, all I have to do is say this or indicate that this needs to happen, and then what do I know? Maybe this person's actually going to do it, right? So yeah, this person is going to be like so much better, so much more present, okay? So much more present, so much more, they're gonna be able to be more effective in their life and all of that, and that's gonna rub off on you if you're in a relationship with this person of any kind. It's gonna rub off on you. For some of you, this person might want to start a new job. This person might be or like working on a new project that has to do with money. So also keep that in mind. Let's go ahead. Okay, they want to be free. They want to be free of burdens, okay? And another thing that this is referring to is also just they really want to launch something. I said maybe a new business. Like they really want something to happen, something fun, something good, So yeah, we've got, this is so funny. We've got the cat, okay, and there's these really tiny words right here that you might not be able to read, okay, but I'll read them for you. Independence and healthy boundaries, okay. This person, I mean, really, we've got freedom, we've got the, setting healthy boundaries. This is burning stuff that's like, no, I'm not going to care about that stuff anymore. We're going to move forward, that kind of thing. So we're getting the same message over and over again from different decks, from the different cards that I pulled from the different decks. And it's saying, hey, this person needs to set some boundaries. And once they do that, they'll be healthy. They'll be fine. And also they need some space. They need some independence. Okay, the hawk promises that there will be some messages, though. You'll definitely understand. They're going to communicate with you. Okay, the hawk can also be a symbol for being able to hone in on predictive energy, like psychic energy, predictive energy, intuition, that kind of thing. It tends to be more in the form of like synchronicities and stuff like that when it comes to this, or being able to kind of project into the future by following a line. Like, for example, maybe reading the stock market, being good at that. But it could be any kind of intuition. But this person, yeah. This is interesting, though, because we've got a message, and again, the hawk, we've got a message, it's a written message, but it has something to do with sex. That's kind of interesting. The lilies it's not usually, but they can stand for purity, too. So they might need to send a message to somebody about purity or sex, but I really feel like this is more about sex, and it doesn't seem to have much to do with the rest of this, so I'm just kind of leave it there because I'm really not getting anything else except this is going to be like a written message or a text message or, an email, that kind of thing. And it has something to do with sex. Alrighty? Do with that what you will, okay? It could be like attraction, but I really feel like it's just straight up sex. A sex message. Okay. This person, we talk about what are they thinking about. Sometimes they get jealous. And that's something that's something that might have come up with them lately. Sometimes they get jealous. They don't want to be jealous. They realize that it's dark. They realize that, but it's like sometimes it's almost like they're looking for something to be jealous of, and let me tell you why, though, because I think this is a really important function of this. People who aren't reminded that they're a positive force in somebody's life, in some way or another, is going to be looking for just some kind of reinforcement that lets them know that they're good with you. That's it. This can especially happen after there's been an argument or a disagreement. They want to know, oh, I still think that you're okay, or I still find you beautiful, or I still think that I still think that you're fine. You don't have to worry about what happened, that kind of thing. Like, or you're still my best friend, or, that kind of thing. That's some of the things that happen. Or it could just be that, they feel like not enough attention is being, given to them. This could really be just an envious, jealous person, Or it could just be that they feel like not a lot of attention has been given to them lately. We have to remember what the question was, though, and the question is, what are they thinking about? So they're thinking about something that's either making them envious, or they're thinking about somebody else's envy. Okay. So keep that in mind. Another thing that they're thinking about is deceit. I feel like they've been lied to, or they feel like they've been misled. That actually might be the trigger to why they feel like they need to set a boundary. But they feel like they've been misled. They've been deceived. I feel like they're still kind of questioning that. Like, did that really happen the way that I think it happened? That kind of thing. So, as far as what's on their mind in that situation. I apologize, one of my kids just came in and then was like, oops. So yeah. Those of you who have kids will understand. Those of you who don't might be like, oh, that's so unprofessional. But seriously, it happens. Anyway, so yeah, this like kind of deceit, it just feels like they've been deceived and they just want to know the truth, that kind of thing. The deception actually might also have to do with what they're envious about. So this is a lot of stuff. Oh my goodness. They're not thinking as clearly as usual. They're getting rid of something. They want to set some boundaries. They want to be independent and free. I mean, they might just need some space right now to think, to reorganize their minds. They will be sending you messages, though. They will be communicating with you. And this person might also be somebody who, I guess, is like me, somebody who does things intuitively or is very good at projecting what's going to happen next, that kind of thing. You've got sexual messages here, so I usually I get more information than just, okay, sex messages. But that's what I'm getting, so that's all I'm gonna say. Sometimes I feel weird, and then people will tell me, oh no, you didn't need to elaborate on that, I know exactly what that is. and then we've got envy and deceit, and again, this is what's on their mind. They're not a deceitful person necessarily. They're not an envious person necessarily. They might, but they're thinking about these topics. They're thinking, hey, I'm not getting as much as that other person is, or maybe they're comparing themselves to someone else, or maybe they're feeling like they're not getting, well, I mean, really, it's the attention thing. That's what I really feel like it is. I think that's more the root of it. And then the deceit, I really feel like that has to do with the boundary thing. Like, they feel like they've been, like, I don't know, they feel really mistrustful of a situation. So if there has been a situation between you and this person, my advice, where they might have felt hurt or deceived or something like that, my advice to you is definitely clarify. This doesn't mean that you have to rehash everything. This doesn't mean that you have to go through and explain every little thing that happened, okay? All this means is to clarify, just say, I was thinking about what happened, and I just want to say again, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry if, like, the way that you took that, or I'm really sorry if you felt misled, that kind of thing. Because, I mean, they don't want to be in a situation where they get hurt again, and that's exactly why they're setting boundaries, okay? This is a healthy thing, though. This is a good thing. And really, if this is a relationship, which, like I said, I think most of the people that pick this, it is a relationship, like more romantic, okay? This person is only setting these boundaries because they want a healthy relationship with you. It's not that they want to get away from you, okay? Yes, there's the independence and the freedom stuff, but I really feel like that has to do with just they need some time to reflect, and that's it. We've got the sexual messages. They're keeping in contact, Like, why would they be sending you messages, especially sexual messages, if they don't want to keep in contact, right? Again, the lilies can represent purity, so it just might be sweet, simple messages, too. I don't want to, I don't want to say everybody's going to get, a sex message tonight, this, sometime in the immediate future. But yeah, that's basically where it is right now. This person seems to have a lot on their mind, but what they're doing, like what's on their mind is stuff that they want to improve. All right. Okay, so thank you guys for staying until the end of my video. For those of you who didn't get my message, because I don't think I told every single pile, the reason that I have this bandage on is that I was playing with my cat and she scratched me and we were having fun. It was just, we were playing. She was not being mean or anything like that. And she scratched me and this was the first bandage I found. So I put this on. I figured it would be like really smooth. And it has been. And so like I promise I'm fine. Pretty soon you'll see it, you know, like maybe a little scar or something as it heals and you'll be like, oh, that's it. Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to cover it up. This discount, all you have to do is send me an email. My email is in the description. If you want, you can connect with me on Facebook too, because my Facebook link is in there as well. And let me know that you want to be put on the list. That's all you have to say. But so you know, being put on the list means that you will get 15% off your first reading in 2019, okay? And I do want to say, if you have already purchased a reading from me, you're already on the list, okay? So anybody who is a previous client will get this benefit as well, because it's, you know, I really want this to be a smooth transition, you know? It's more about how much energy that I'm putting into these readings, coupled with the fact that I do need equipment. I do need some, you know, I do need different things to do the readings as well. And in order to, you know, be able to just, you know, break even and then just make just a little bit of money to just make my household a little bit, you know, run a little bit smoother, you know, I do need to, you know, break even. So yeah, it's just about, you know, making sure I have a good camera and tripod, making sure I have good lighting, making sure I have great decks that work really well, and making sure that I feel that the amount of energy that I'm putting into it is being, I guess, maybe respected financially, okay? So, thank you so much for understanding. Tomorrow we'll have the general love reading, okay? And I think I'm going to go ahead and do an extra reading this week as well. That'll either go up tomorrow or Saturday, and this would just be another pick a card reading. Alrighty? See you guys tomorrow.